Hello, welcome back to another anime art video. My name is Dennis and I'm a beginner artist, and in today's video I'm going to be drawing I don't remember his name, but basically Kenpachi's fifth seat, if I remember correctly. He would be, I don't know if I would say that he's like stronger than the bald guy. I don't know which one of them is technically stronger. But you want to know what I kind of have a problem with in the story? You want to know? I'll tell you. What I have a problem with in the story is when a character show does over like they do overwhelming moves for no reason, and they're not meaning to show off. And what I mean by that is I'm going to give you like maybe 2 to 3 examples depending on if I can think of a third one after I say the first two. The first example, right, is you'll have the second seats fighting opponents, right? And you'll also have Renji, which is also a second seat fighting an opponent. And you'll see them be able to beat their opponent without using a Bankai, but because Renji has shown that he has a Bankai, he uses his Bankai all the time. I have a problem with that. The reason why is because normally when they show us opponents or enemies and they have enemies fight the main characters, a lot of times the characters that are being fought are relatively the same level as the characters. So Renji having a Bankai technically makes him stronger than the other Soul Reapers that are on the same level as him, right? Theoretically. Obviously, I don't think Renji can beat the bald dude in a fight. Like, obviously, in the flashback, he trained Renji on how to fight. So, obviously it makes sense. But we would expect Renji to be stronger than people that don't have Bankais, right? We can expect that. But for other people to be able to beat their hollow or Ronkar or whatever without even using a Bankai, it doesn't sit well with me, right? And I know you're not I know it's not a typical thing in this show where the enemies are, you know, scaled the same, right? But they generally can be scaled the same. And what I mean by that is that if Ichigo fights against like Grinjao was the strongest dude that showed up, right? He was the strongest one that showed up. The second strongest one that showed up was fighting against Toshiro, right? He's the second strongest. The other three, those guys should have been relatively the same rank. And the reason why is because the Arankars said that the numbers after 10 doesn't justify your strength. Your strength is only justified once you're above the top 10, which is why Grinjao was stronger than the rest of them. But all the other ones should have been relatively ranked the same. But the bald guy was able to beat his opponent with his Bankai without having Ginte Kaijo activated, right? He was able to beat his Toshiro, Rangiku, and I forget who else. Oh, Renji. They all had to wait for Ginte Kaijo in order to beat their opponent, and Rangiku was able to beat hers without even using her Bankai. My point is, Renji used his Bankai, Toshiro used his Bankai, Rangiku didn't, and she was able to beat her opponent. My thing is that they're inconsistent to the point where like Gentei Kaijo means that they're using 100% of their power. So generally where he had to go Bankai previously, he should have been able to just go back to his base form in order to beat that guy, but he beat him in his Bankai. And I know it's like, oh, well, he was already in his Bankai. Why would he go down? But Rangiku beat hers without her Bankai. And she doesn't have one. And Renji had used his Bankai. My point is that they use like excessive force when their counterparts of equal strength aren't. Another example would be of this not being the case, right? Ichigo got his Soul Reaper powers back in the Fullbringer arc. He got them back. His opponent had stole some of his powers and was stronger. Ichigo was fighting to the point where he ended up needing to go into his Bankai to, beat the dude. But actually that's not that's something that I like. The dude was basic. He was fighting Ichigo, then he transformed and Ichigo still was fighting with him, and then Ichigo decided to go Bankai after that. But my point, I don't know. It's hard. Like if you don't understand now, it's like really hard to explain. I just don't want like it's really annoying when a character just like comes out into the battlefield and just like straight up goes into their Bankai when their teammate is not doing the same thing, right? Like if I can beat you without going into my Shikai or my Bankai, I will do it. And 9 times out of 10, most hollows you can beat them with just your with just your regular Zanpakuto. You don't have to go to Shikai. The only reason Ichigo has his Shikai is because his is always in its Shikai form. If he still had a base Bankai, a base Zanpakuto form, he would use that to kill a lot of his opponents. It's just weird that they always need to go into their Bankai when they don't need to, you know? Are you just like showing off? Like it does nothing, right? It doesn't mean anything. You're not like showing your power to the fans cuz we already know what your power is. Now we want to see you be able to beat strong opponents without using your strongest techniques. So a point that I have would be Ichigo, right? Ichigo, every time he gets a new technique, he always needs to use it to beat his opponents. After they came back from the Soul Society and they had to deal with the bounce, Ichigo wasn't able to use his Bankai, but for some reason he needed his Bankai. When he was able to beat captains without using his Bankai before. And then now, okay, I got my Bankai back. Now I'm fighting on par with this bout. Okay, I beat this bout. Now after that, now for some reason other opponents come out of nowhere and now my power is not my own and now I have to fight with this hollow inside of me. The hollow is able to use my strength more than I can because I'm afraid or whatever. I'm afraid of fighting people. Whatever Ichigo's like reason for not wanting to fight people or wanting to talk to people all the time, whatever that reason is. Then after he gets his hollow mask, now every opponent I fight, I'm gonna use my Bankai and I'm gonna wear my mask. What? Why do you need all of that? Why do you need every single move that you have in your arsenal in order to fight fodder people? It doesn't make sense. Save your techniques for the people that actually deserve for you to use it on them. He's just like, going all out for no reason. Like Urahara. Do what Urahara does, right? Urahara, when do we see his Bankai? We don't, right? Because he doesn't need it to fight every opponent. But he, ironically, he can beat the same opponents that Ichigo has to use Bankai for. And Ichigo's not weak. Sorry for my tangent. Let's get into this.
Giving up, letting go. Times we might feel compelled. Looking down from the heights that we have built all by ourselves. And there is fear of the unknown, but we cannot lose control when we feel like the world is against us. We have built fire. We have built. Choices that it's hard not to look past. What is real and what is fake, and the risk we have to take. Will we know what is throwing off our balance? We cannot sink into the dark. The vertigo is getting sharp. There's something bigger than ourselves. That we need. We have built all by. That we need. We have the heights that we need. That we need. We have built all by. That we need. We have the heights that we need. I feel, feel, we all by. I feel, feel, the height that we need. I feel, feel, we all by. I feel, feel, the giving up, letting go. Times we might feel compelled. Looking down from the heights that we have built all by ourselves. And there is fear of the unknown, but we cannot lose control when we feel like the world is against us. We have built fire. We have built. We have built do we go? Is a question to ask. There are so many choices that it's hard not to look past. What is real and what is fake, and the risk we have to take. Will we know what is throwing off our balance? We cannot see into the dark. The vertigo is getting sharp. There's something greater than ourselves. That we need. We have built all by. That we need. We have the heights that we need. That we need. We have built all by. That we need. We have the heights that we need. I feel, feel. We all by. I feel, feel. Height that we need. I feel, feel. We all by. I feel, feel.
All right, I am finished with this picture of the fifth seat. I will say that I kind of like skipped my way through this episode, certain parts. Like, this episode was just literally a cake filled episode. We're gonna bake a cake because this soul wants his mother to taste his cake, and he had died. And I understand, like, they want to give us like some like dialogue and some like other stuff without just showing us, what Aizen is doing, what Ichigo's doing, what all that, like, like, but like, make it like, give us something, like, give us Toshiero's backstory already, right? Like, I like that episode that they were playing soccer because it was actually cool. It actually showcased my character. Like, it showed him doing cool stuff without just fighting hollows all the time, right? It showed him doing like some sick stuff. Playing soccer, even the episode where they were like playing using the swords when they were doing the what is that called? Fencing. No, not fencing. It's the when they were using the bamboo swords and they were fighting. Like, even that's cool, right? It's like their strength. They're using them without, being in their Soul Reaper bodies. I like stuff like that. You can do a lot of stuff like that. But stuff like this, where it's like, oh, we're gonna bake a cake. Learn how to bake this cake. Cool. What? No. I'm good on that. That's it for this video. If you liked it, be sure to leave a like, subscribe. If you didn't, let me know what I can do in the comment section to make it better for you to watch next time. The glove is off. Peace, love. Thanks for watching.